We're talking with Central Lyon alum Riley Van Wyhe here for Sioux County Radio. And Riley has played football at UNI and now is going to be coaching there this fall. And Riley's gracious enough to give us some of his time. Riley, how are you doing? And how's life over in Cedar Falls?
No, I'm doing good, Carson. Appreciate you having me on. Things are going well here. Finishing up spring ball, finishing up classes. Now the guys are getting ready to come back and start summer workouts.
All right, very good. And as I mentioned, you're a Central Lyon alum. You're a four-sport athlete, growing up in the area. And so I'm interested to get your background. I know a lot of your background, but for the people that are watching or listening, could you tell them how you got involved with sports, football, and a little bit about your upbringing?
Yeah, so like you said, Central Lyon alum, went to Central Lyon K through 12. So a lot of my upbringing was all about sports. Loved being in the gym, loved being on the field. Anywhere I could be was always doing something with sports. So playing college sports, playing high school sports was always a for sure for me. It wasn't really ever a question what I was going to, it was more of the question what sport I was going to play. Growing up, I actually always enjoyed baseball and basketball more than football in elementary and middle school even. And maybe even early high school, I thought I'd maybe be more of a baseball player, more of a basketball player. But it's kind of how things developed for me, what my body type was, what my size was, what my skills were. Football ended up to be the best path for me. So, yeah, played four sports, Central Lyon, football, basketball, track, and baseball. So I like to think I was pretty successful in all four of them. Had a lot of fun playing them. I'm glad I got to play all of them. I don't think I'd go back and not play one of them to focus on a different one. I enjoyed having all four different sports, being able to compete all the time, not really have an off season. And I think that's what led me to having a college career where I could develop fast. I could really develop in football because I haven't spent that much time on it.
All right, very good. So now that kind of leads into another question. Northwest Iowa, how did that shape you not only as an athlete, but also as a person and kind of lead you to where you are now at Cedar Falls?
So I think, yeah, being from Northwest Iowa, a bunch of hardworking people, bunch of committed people, a lot of people who care about you, a lot of people who care about their sports programs, not just at Central Lyon, but all the surrounding schools, a lot of support. So, and I think I took that for granted, but going to and talking to other teammates and stuff at UNI, like they didn't have those type of support pieces or different community. Yeah, the community support was different. They didn't have that. Like in Northwest Iowa, every school has a good support system, and that really helps the players. And I think that's what maybe you take for advantage in Northwest Iowa. You take that for granted, but it's a really good area to be from. I love being from it. I say I'm from Northwest Iowa, and people are like, "Oh, up in this area." Then I'm like, "No, it's an hour and a half further that way." So I explain that I'm from way Northwest Iowa. Is how I always put it.
Northwest Iowa.
Yep.
No, there you go. There you go. Talk a little bit about the competition you faced in Northwest Iowa throughout your playing career, not only in football, but, baseball, basketball, and how that helped shape your ability to go and play at the next level.
Yeah, so I think competing and even just being younger, watching guys who were successful at the next level, who were from the area, just kind of gave you that motivation and gave you like the proof that it could be done from a small school, gave you that just from your small school in Northwest Iowa, you can still make it at bigger levels. So I think that really motivated me younger, watching some of the older guys do that. And then yeah, when you're older, got to know a bunch of the people I was playing against, so that's always fun. And then when they go to different schools, so then you're rooting for them to be successful. It's just fun when people from Northwest Iowa, the Siouxland, are successful in all aspects of life and all sports.
Well, that kind of leads us into talking about your time at UNI. When you were making your decision to go to college, what led you to go to UNI, and talk about that process, if you would.
Yeah, so when I finally decided I wanted to play football, I kind of came down to a couple different schools, a couple of the FCS schools, and then a couple Division II schools. Didn't have any looks higher than that, but I think looking back on it, I think the FCS was a perfect level for me. But specifically about UNI, um, I love the city of Cedar Falls, and that's probably kind of why we're back as well. It's just a nice town. It's big, not too big. The campus is nice. And then what kind of I talk about now with recruits is it's not about the facilities, it's not about the jerseys you wear, it's about the people you're around. So like the football staff, I was attracted to the coaches and just being around those type of people. And then UNI had my business degree as well that I wanted to pursue. So it was kind of a combination of a couple different things that led me there.
Well, before I get to my next question I had scheduled to talk to you about, I know I didn't give you this one, but how has Coach Farley kind of helped shape you as an athlete and a person? He's been there for a long time, kind of legendary in the state of Iowa, I'd say. What has he meant to you, and how has he helped you?
Yeah, so coach obviously means a lot to me. He's given me multiple opportunities. He's given me opportunity as a player and now as a coach. As a player, he was a former linebacker himself, so he always had insight and everything for linebackers on what to do, how to improve, how to train, how to be the best, so then he could put you on the field. And then as a coach, now he's kind of taken me under his wing to being a young coach, new at the profession, that things to do, things to look out for, and just yeah, he's really helped me through all aspects, personal life, obviously, and obviously football's been the biggest one.
Yeah, and like I said, legendary coach in the state of Iowa. I think if you know football in the state of Iowa, you know who Coach Mark Farley is
Yep.
for sure. Any particular lessons maybe from Coach that you would like to share, or just lessons in general that you took away from your playing days and school days at UNI?
Yeah, so I'd say a big one for me as a player was just always be ready. So I didn't start my first couple of years. I ended up starting my last two. Um, but kind of always being ready and never giving in, never backing down, and not just throwing in the towel and being done. If you stick it out, always do things right, good things are going to happen for you.
And now you step into the coaching side of your career, and just talk about that process. I know you didn't start out as a coach. You came back to Northwest Iowa area for a little while, and then all of a sudden that opportunity popped up for you. So take us through that process a little bit and how you were able to get the assistant linebacker coaching job.
Yeah, so I always have thought about being a coach collegiately ever since I've been in college, even in high school. I always thought I'd be some sort of coach, didn't know what level, if it'd just be like high school and do something else, or if it'd be a full time profession. So I've always thought about coaching, but what I really wanted to do was take a year off and see how much I missed football. If I missed just playing football, or did I miss everything else that makes football so great? So I missed being around competitive people. I missed the sport of football. I missed the community aspect of it, the locker room aspect, all that stuff that makes football great, makes it a family. So that's when I knew I had to get back in. Um, so I had a couple preliminary conversations with Coach Farley, and then once kind of things got settled with defensive coordinator hire and stuff to see what position else they needed, and it kind of worked out for me what they were looking for, and yeah, decided to bring me on, and really excited just to get started. So a lot of the coaches that are still there were a few of my coaches when I was there, so that's really exciting to get to work with them. So now it's just me adjusting from being player to a coach. So even though they said they kind of like having a little player opinion in there as well, because that's how you relate to the players as well. So I'm really excited about UNI. We have a great offense and defensive staff, but defensive staff are guys who I was under all of them, so it's very familiar for me. All the terms, everything's the same, so it can really help just make our players the best they can be, and hopefully we can get the team in the right spot.
Yeah, you mentioned the transition from player to coach. What has that process been like so far? What have been maybe some of the challenges with that, but also maybe some of the things you thought would be harder that have been easier?
Yeah, so a few of the guys are 6-year guys this year, so I've actually would have been on the same team with them for 4 years. So I still know them as I'm still friends with a lot of them. So that transition's been a little different, but I think I've done a good job, and they've done a good job respecting me as well. And like, okay, he's a coach now, and they can come to me with stuff, and I can talk to them about stuff, but it's still that coach player relationship. I think what's been easier than I was anticipating, I think was the respect level, and if people actually listen to what you're saying. So I think the guys I've been coaching have done a really good job of respecting what I have to say and taking it because they know that I played. So then I played with a few of them, and they know that I know what I'm talking about. So I think that's part I was nervous for, but the guys have done a really good job, and I hope that I'm helping them get the best they can be.
All right, last question, Riley, for you. What is your coaching goal? And maybe this is something you're still formulating in your mind a little bit as time goes on, but what is your goal for coaching, whether it's personal, whether whatever it might be?
Yeah, so I think it's my overall philosophy for coaching is I've had so many great coaches pour into me my entire life, all the way through even T-ball coaches to everything I've done. And so I just want to be a person, and athletics have done so much for me. It's been my life for the longest time. So I just want to give people that opportunity to continue to pursue athletics and to pour into them and make them the best player they can be, but also the best person they can be.
All right. Well, Riley, hey, we appreciate the time and wish you and the Panthers best of luck in the 2023 season.
Thank you.
And want to make note that if you know of anybody in the area in Northwest Iowa that is off doing something sports related and think they would be a good interview, you can let us know. My email is Carson, Carson, as you can see right there, at SiouxCountyRadio.com. And so again, Riley, thanks for joining us, and look forward to maybe doing some more of these in the future. For Sioux County Radio Sports, I'm Carson Schubert.